Hi, everyone. This is Julia from Teacher Julia at Teachers Pay Teachers. Tonight, I wanted to show you how I keep track of student reading assessments. I don't do them that often formally. I'm doing them all the time as I teach, but I do formal observations at the beginning, middle, and end of the school year, keeping notes and track and everything like that. Unless a student needs extra help and intervention, then that's a whole other ball game. Anyhow, this is what I want to show you. First of all, how I keep track of student assessment and reading. What I do is I use this sheet. Now, all it simply is I bring the student to the table. I have him or her read a section from a book that's on grade level or slightly above or slightly below, depending on what I know about the student. And I am keeping track of their reading. We'll talk briefly about it, and then that's it. It's not something that should take too long, and it's not something that should be a big deal in the classroom. I kind of like to do it. It feels in a way that it feels informal to the kids rather than something that they need to get worked up over. Anyhow, this is an example of the sheet that I use. It up here at the top: name, book title, level of the book, and the date. Miscues or any notes, observations, retell, strategies to teach, or goals. I copy this sheet on a colored piece of paper just so that I can find it easily in all the papers that I have. This is an example of a student that I took notes for. He was reading Maniac McGee to me. I noticed that his flow was a little off, so I wrote that. I wrote down some observations. I wrote down, of course, what he said. And then I noticed the student got really detailed on one part of what he read, but then forgot other parts. But for the most part, I guess he was all right as far as retelling. I think with this, this is a year ago, I think I was more concerned with his inferencing skills. So I put that down as strategies to teach him the first part of the year. And during the first part of the school year, I am meeting with students in a small group setting, and we are reading either Maniac McGee together or Loser, both written by Jerry Spinelli. And it's just such good books to read at the beginning of the school year for tons of different reasons. But we do that in a guided reading setting, and so these assessments are what I use to help plan for that. So now, after I've done this assessment with every student, I put their name on a Post-it and I place them on this sheet, either, at benchmark, they might need to be watched, or intervention. Okay, so these are made up names. I've been watching a lot of 90210 lately. So I put down these names, and some of the little things that I've been using, little codes, I would put an arrow if the student was more like above benchmark. I would put down here if they're on watch, what they're on watch for mostly. And then intervention, I might end up taking those students and putting them in a separate group and working with them on specific skills that they need help with. So this is really good at a glance, and you put them on Post-its because then you can move them once you feel that they are on level and have improved. Or maybe at first you thought they were on benchmark, and then as you're working with them later, you notice that they are not. And so when I'm planning my guided reading lessons, this is what I look to each week. This is just a regular chart to keep track of anything: attendance, grades, whatever, homework. What I do is I put the students' names here, which I have covered up, and I have the day that I meet with them, group one. I have the chapters that they were supposed to do and the activities. So they were supposed to read chapters 11 to 14 and do a T chart. And then I would keep track of whether they did it or not. Sometimes I'm keeping track of whether they did it or not, or whether they did it correctly or not. It just depends on what I decide to keep track of that day or that week. This is an awesome find from Hobby Lobby last summer, 2015. What I like about this is that when you open it up, it has a pad of paper. And so what I did is this is my small group lesson planner. And so I have Maniac McGee lesson plan and Loser lesson plan. And I would write it, teach it, and then once it was taught, I would put it over here and then write the new one over here, keep track of homework and things like that. So all of these things stay together. This goes here with something over top of it so the students can't see it when I pull it out, but it's there all in one place for me. And that is a brief tutorial, I guess you would say, on how I keep track of student reading assessments. Please be sure to follow me at Teachers Pay Teachers. My name is Teacher Julia on there. I also have a blog, teacherjuliasroom.com. And of course, you can always subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.